Okay, so guys, let's get started. So today we are going to do, or today we're going to study covalent bonding. And so, what do you like when we use the word co? What is the meaning of the word co? For example, like
So, ma'am,
coexist,
coexist
cooperate.
like two things like existing together.
Very good. So what can you say about the word co? Sharing of something, right? So for example, when I say coexist, it means sharing of something, sharing of something between two people, two things that are living, okay, are living together, sharing a living space. Or if I say cooperate, so what that means is operating together, sharing an operation together, okay. So yeah, so that is the meaning of the word co. So when I say covalent, what do you think covalent means?
Ma'am, sharing a
Yeah.
valency.
Yeah, so sharing of valence electrons, meaning covalent. Okay, that is why we use the word covalent bond. Ionic bond, remember, is a transfer of electron from one atom to another atom, right? So, for example, in NaCl, we notice that this electron from Na was transferred to Cl, right? So this electron from Na was transferred to chlorine. So this complete transfer of electron is called an ionic bond. Whereas sharing of valence electrons, sharing, not transfer, sharing of valence electrons is called covalent bond. Okay, so the bond formed by sharing of electrons is called covalent bond. So now let us look at what cases that is possible. So what is the atomic number for carbon? The atomic number is 6, okay? So if the atomic number is 6, what is the electronic configuration? 2, 4. Very good, Priscilla, Unmana, Arna. Excellent. So electronic configuration is 2, 4. So now if I draw the Lewis dot structure of carbon, it's going to look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I can draw these dots wherever I want. So I just chose to draw it like this. Now, I know that carbon needs 4 electrons in order to become more. It needs 4 electrons more to complete its octet configuration. And let me take another example of, let's say, hydrogen. Hydrogen has atomic number 1 and its electronic configuration is 1. So if I draw hydrogen, I can just draw hydrogen with a dot. Okay. So now what hydrogen and carbon will do is that they will share these electrons with each other. Now what happens? Carbon ends up having 5 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because hydrogen is sharing its own electron. So carbon has 5 electrons and hydrogen now has 2 electrons. So hydrogen has completed its duplet configuration. I don't have to worry about hydrogen. But carbon
Can you
still,
repeat again?
yeah, sure.
Ma'am,
So
from the hydrogen part, because after that I didn't.
covalent meaning sharing, okay. So the word covalent or the prefix covalent, or sorry, the word covalent or the prefix co meaning sharing. So when I say covalent, meaning I'm talking about sharing of valence electrons. Okay, so the bonds that are formed by sharing of valence electrons are called covalent bonds. Okay, so that is what we are studying today. So let's take a look at carbon. Carbon has atomic number 6. Its electronic configuration is 2, 4. And so hydrogen has atomic number 1 and electronic configuration. So now let's take a look at carbon. All right. So in this case, carbon can either, in order for carbon attain configuration, it has to gain 4 electrons. Okay. But where does carbon gain these 4 electrons from? Who is going to give carbon those 4 electrons? It's going to be a difficult find, because getting 4 electrons, giving 4 electrons is more difficult than getting 3 electrons or giving 3 electrons in case of maybe aluminum, right? But here what is happening is carbon is satisfying its octet configuration by sharing electrons. How does that happen? Let's take a look. So what happens is it comes close to another atom. For example, hydrogen atom, it comes close to a hydrogen atom and it starts sharing one of its electrons with hydrogen. And hydrogen also shares its one electron with carbon. Now, because of sharing, carbon ends up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons. Similarly, hydrogen ends up having 2 electrons. And in order for hydrogen to be stable, it needs only 2 electrons. So it satisfies the duplet rule, right? So hydrogen has satisfied its duplet rule by sharing its one of the electrons from carbon. But carbon still needs 3 more electrons because it has only 5 electrons. In order for it to satisfy the octet configuration, it needs 3 more electrons. So what do? I bring in 3 more hydrogens. I bring in one hydrogen here, one hydrogen here, and then one hydrogen here. Okay, now all these electrons are shared among these different hydrogen atoms. Okay, so this ends up forming a covalent bond that looks like this. Okay, now carbon has 8 electrons around it. Just count, you will be able to see carbon has 8 electrons, hydrogen has 2, all the hydrogens have 2 electrons, everything is satisfying the duplet rule, and everything is, I'm like, all the hydrogens are satisfying the duplet rule and carbon is satisfying the octet rule. Everybody is happy. Like it is a win-win situation. Okay, so this is why this is how covalent bonds are formed, and these bonds, or sorry, these electrons that are taking part in the formation of a covalent bond are called, oh, okay, I understood. Okay, so here what is happening is I have converted these bond pairs with, I have just represented these 2 electrons that are being shared with a dash. Okay, I've just represented it with a dash. So that is called like that is, I'm going to call that as a bond. Okay, so this is nothing but a bond. So I'm just showing that between hydrogen and carbon there's a bond, between hydrogen and carbon there's a bond. That's what I'm showing. In which form covalent bonds are present, like in solid, liquid, gas? Okay, good question. Let's see. So definitely gas. It can be present in liquids also, and I would say solids as well.
Yes, ma'am, because which is a covalent bond is in solid. Ma'am, sugar is a covalent bond.
Yes. So sugar is nothing but it is made.
E2H4O2.
Excellent. Okay. So sugar is nothing but glucose, right? So glucose is a carbon compound as well. So it's an organic compound, and most of the organic compounds that you see around you are in solids, right? So, okay, what is organic and inorganic compounds? Good question. So organic compounds are basically any compound that have carbon as an atom in them are called organic compound. So anything that has a carbon in it is a organic compound, and anything that does not have carbon in it is an inorganic compound. All right, so whenever you see this one pair of electrons being shared between 2 atoms, so over here this is my first atom and this is my second atom. So whenever I see one pair of electrons being shared between 2 atoms, I'm going to call that as a single covalent bond. Okay, so this is an example of a single covalent bond. And I can write this as, so this can also be written as CH4. This is nothing but methane. So this is nothing but methane.
Excuse
And
me, ma'am.
so we know, we've seen what single covalent bond is. So Unmana's question was, how do we know if it's going to have a covalent bond or if it is going to have a ionic bond? So guys, can you tell me what is the do you have any idea? Yes, Priscilla, you can tell. Go ahead.
The major difference is that covalent bonds always happen in non-metals. Non-metal and non-metal. They never happen with non-metal and um, metal.
Covalent bonds never happen with non-metal and metal. Okay, yes.
There are no ions produced in the process. They just share. But
Excellent.
but ionic bonds, they take electrons from each other, and because of the negativity and positivity, they attract.
Yes, excellent. Very good.
And
Thank
one
you.
more difference is covalent bonds. Like if suppose they're not arranged like ions, which they when a molecule is formed or anything, the positive attracts towards the negative ends only.
Okay, so ma'am, how is CH4 single covalent bond as both are sharing the electrons? Okay, that is because both of these are sharing one pair of electron, right? One pair of electrons, correct? So the carbon atom and the hydrogen atom, both of them are sharing one pair of electrons amongst themselves. Did you understand, Unmana? That is why, because they're sharing one pair, it is called single covalent bond. Okay, so your question is, it is difficult to remember what is metallic and what is non-metallic. Remember, we studied this in the periodic table. What do we consider as metallic elements and non-metallic elements? It's not difficult to remember. Okay, also remember, metals always give electrons. Okay, so for example, sodium is a metal. It gives one electron in order to attain octet configuration. Magnesium is a metal. It gives two electrons to attain octet configuration. Aluminum, three electrons. Calcium, two electrons. Potassium, one electron. Okay, so metals always give electrons. Okay, so hydrogen is neither a metal nor a non-metal. Okay, remember that. Hydrogen is an exception in the periodic table. It is neither a metal nor a non-metal. Okay, so now let us look at covalent bonds. So at another example. Before that, let me see if there are any questions. Yes, Bhavya.
CH4 means carbon hydroxide. Huh?
No, so CH4 means methane. Hydroxide will always be OH minus ion. Okay, so whenever I'm talking about ions, I'll have hydroxide. Whenever I'm talking about covalent bonds, I will not have hydroxide. Yes. Now let's look at another example. Instead of hydrogen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take carbon as it is.
Ma'am, you
Okay.
can take water, no, ma'am. That is also
Yeah, I'll do
covalent.
that later. Right now, I'm talking about, you'll understand why I'm not doing water yet. I'll talk about water later on. Okay, so let us look at carbon, and I'm going to take chlorine. Okay, so chlorine has atomic number 17. What is the electronic configuration of chlorine?
What, ma'am?
Electronic configuration of chlorine.
Between 2,
8, 9.
No.
2, 8, 7.
Very good. Yes. Good, Arna, Unmana, Karthik. Very good. Yes. So 287. Is it possible to have 2, 8, 9 for any compound?
Ma'am, by mistake, ma'am.
Okay. Good. All right. Yeah. So
Ma'am,
2,
I remember that the valency is -1, but then it's like I felt it was 10 minus 1, 9.
It's okay. No problem. Okay. So I have carbon over here, and now if I want to draw the Lewis dot structure of chlorine, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So now, similar to hydrogen, chlorine requires one more electron and carbon requires 4 more electrons. So one of the electron it will take from this, that it will share, and similarly there'll be another chlorine over here and it will share. Similarly, another chlorine over
So
here.
4 chlorines, right?
Yeah, 4 chlorine. So similarly, there'll be another chlorine over here and it will share. And similarly, another chlorine and it will share. Okay, so now all the chlorines have 8 electrons after sharing, and the carbon also has 8 electrons. So this entire structure is stable. Now, if I have to draw this in terms of bond pairs, I'm sorry, if I have to draw the bonds, I'm going to say like this. So one more thing I want you guys to know is these two electrons, this